The most pressing problem within the VA now is the very significant backlog that we have in processing claims for our veterans. That is the number one issue, I believe, that the service organizations believe is out there. It's my concern as well as being the number one issue facing the VA, and that is why the very first hearing that we are having since I've become chair of this committee will address this issue. My understanding is that as of March 2nd, 2013, 70% of the compensation and pension inventory of 895,000 claims have been pending for over 125 days. Further, the accuracy rate of 86% at the end of fiscal year 2010 is significantly lower than what must be accomplished. In addition, such agencies as the GAO and the VA's own Inspector General have raised some very, very serious concerns about the work and the efforts that the VA is undertaking in addressing the claims processing crisis. It is my view, and I believe that I speak for every member of this committee, that when men and women put their lives on the line to defend this country, they must be treated with dignity and respect when they return. Not with red tape, not with bureaucracy, not with, in some cases, years of delay before that they get the benefits to which they are entitled. Without being overly dramatic here, we all know that one of the tragedies facing the veterans community right now is some 22 veterans every single day are committing suicide. And I know that no one in the VA and no one in the Congress wants to add to that problem, wants to add to the frustration and the problems the veterans have by delaying the benefits to which they are entitled. Now that's the bad news, and those are some very, very serious problems that we're going to be discussing today, and we look forward to the testimony of our panelists. But here is some better news, because it's important to put this issue in a broader context. Despite, I believe, a popular misconception, as I understand it, the VA today is processing far more claims than they have ever processed before. So this is not a case of the VA system falling apart and unable to process claims. In fact, they are processing more claims today, significantly more than they have ever processed before. As I understand it, in 2001, the VA completed some 480,000 claims. In 2002, about 796,000 claims. In 2003, 827,000 claims. During the last 3 years, the VA has processed over 1 million claims in each of those years. Further, it is generally believed that the VA did exactly the right thing, and I want to thank General Shinseki and the VA for doing this, for making certain that Vietnam veterans who were exposed to Agent Orange and who became ill as a result of that exposure, finally, after years and years of delay, get the benefits that they were entitled to because of that exposure and because of those illnesses. In the last several years, the VA has processed some 278,000 new claims for Agent Orange. It is generally believed that they have done a pretty good job in processing those claims and doing it in a timely manner. Last further point. General Shinseki has set a very, very ambitious goal in terms of eliminating the backlog by 2015 and of the VA having the VA process compensation claims so that no veteran or eligible spouse or child has to wait more than 125 days for a quality decision, meaning 98% accuracy rate on that claim. I think we can all agree that that is a very, very ambitious goal. And obviously the subject of today's hearing is whether or not we are going to achieve that goal. Let me conclude. Later on today, we're going to hear a testimony from Joe Violante, who was with the Disabled Americans Veterans. And the DAV, as I understand it, probably helps more veterans process claims than any other organization in the country. And what Mr. Violante is going to tell us is that the DAV believes that the VBA, with the work that the VA is now doing, is on the right path, that they have set the right goals, and that they have leadership committed to transforming and institutionalizing a new claims processing system to better serve veterans. And that is kind of more or less the testimony that we heard from the veterans organizations during the House Senate hearings. The understanding that it is absolutely imperative that we move away from the paper system and into the 21st century where we have a paperless system. And there is the belief, I think, from the veterans community that we are moving in the right direction, but that many, many problems remain which must be addressed.